I'm taking this 2026 rebrand very, very seriously. I want to look like a whole new human today. So we're going to do some unrecognisable makeup. I feel like the soft, clean girl makeup has been such a big thing, but today I am going to cake it on. Like, I want to look different. This is going to be full glam. So if you want to see how I go from this to this, then just keep on watching. First things first, let's have a little bit of energy and get this hair out of my face. My hair doesn't look that great today because I've been trying not to use heat on it. I've got like a little bit of a flick to the ends just from like my heatless curlers, but I feel like my hair doesn't last that long when I do heatless curlers, but this is what we're working with. That's another thing for 2026, that I'm really going to try and look after my hair. I want to get thicker hair. Like, it's grown in length, but it's more just these bits at the sides here, like they're literally just like snapped and broken. So that's my goal for this year. Anyway, makeup. Also just going to be using some of my 2025 favourites in this video, starting with the Maybelline Grippy Primer. I feel like this is one of the best makeup products to come out of 2025. I used to absolutely love the Wee Cherie Grippy Primer, and obviously I still do, but this one feels a little bit lighter weight and kind of sinks into your skin a little bit more, whereas the other one, I'd say it's a little bit like thicker, but this one gets so sticky without feeling heavy. So this, yeah, drugstore product, one of the best things to come out of 2025, and your makeup will literally stick to it. For foundation, another Maybelline product, believe it or not. This is literally my favourite foundation at the minute. Maybelline Superstay. This is the Lumi Matte Foundation. I mixed two shades together. I probably could just get a middle ground, but I do mix 128 and 140. And this looks so skin-like. You don't really need to be shy about the amount that you're putting on. Because I'm lazy and I can't really be bothered to get my hand dirty or anything, I do kind of just pump them on my face and mix them together with my brush rather than putting it on my hand and stuff first. But hopefully you can see already how flawless this makes my skin look without feeling heavy. I think where it's that like Lumi matte kind of finish, it's like the best of both worlds. It's kind of like a middle ground. It looks like full coverage and glam without being dry and cakey. Just using a sponge just to make sure that's all blended in, and I've just realised that I really should have dermaplaned my face, but a bit too late now. How have I not realised that my first 3 steps in my go-to makeup routine are Maybelline? This is another Maybelline product. This one's the Maybelline Lifter Sticks, and I use the shade 65. I feel like technically you could use this as a foundation as well. I think I've seen other people use it all over, obviously not in this shade, but I love it as a cream bronzer. And for me, I'm just using it on my cheeks there. I feel like I want my cheeks to be quite lifted, so that's why I've put it in that sort of angle quite high up, obviously on my forehead. Then I think the most important part for me is the nose. So I do a little line underneath and then a line along the tip like that. I feel like this makes it look a little bit more lifted. And then just a little line there and a little line there. I feel like I'm going to need to put a little bit of bronzer on my chest later because I haven't really got any fake tan on, so yeah, not ideal, but we're going to make it work. And then taking my HF Cosmetics HF14 brush. This is like quite a unique shape. It's kind of like an angled one, but flat at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. But I love this because I feel like it makes it so easy to just tap out. So I kind of keep like the bottom bit of the brush on the bottom bit of where I've put the contour, well, bronzer, and then I literally just tap. I'm gonna leave it kind of a little bit harsher today because, like I said, I want to look unrecognisable. Just feel like I want to look absolutely snatched today. And then the same on this side, literally just placing at the bottom of the brush with the bottom of the bronzer, just so you're not transferring it down to this bit over here. Want to keep it nice and high. Then my nose is one of the most important things. To be honest, I don't feel complete without my nose contour, and I've always been really insecure about my nose. So doing this technique I find makes a really big difference. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking a little bit. Like, I don't know why it does that because I've tightened all of this stuff. It's probably because I did it myself. I should have trusted someone else to make the chair, but yeah, it's really squeaky. Anyway, back to the nose. I use this insanely old brush. It is from IT Cosmetics. It's the number 5 brush. Don't know why, I've just always used this for my nose contour. And I basically start on this bottom bit here and I just tap that out. And I try and keep the lines semi-harsh in a weird way. I feel like if you blend it out too much, when you put on all of the other steps, they kind of just disappear into nothing. So I like it to look a little bit harsher now, because then I feel like when your makeup's done, it still peeks through. Same for this bit here, I just tap that out. That gives it the little button nose. I feel like it makes it look a little bit more lifted at the tip. And then these lines I do blend out ever so slightly more than the bit on the tip, but just very gently going up and down, bringing it all the way up to kind of like the eyebrow area. Because we're taking the glam very seriously today, I'm also going to use a colour corrector underneath my eyes. This is the Huda Beauty one in the shade Peach Light. This has a good amount of coverage to it in itself as well, so this is like a really good first step if you want to be full glam. I actually got a new little puff to try from Huda Beauty. This has like a marshmallow sponge on one side and then a powder puff on the other side, so I'm gonna give this a go just to tap this out, because to be honest, I've actually been using like a powder puff sort of thing to blend out my concealer anyway. I feel like this is perfect. It's like 2 in 1. Don't need to blend this one out like fully. I kind of just want to keep it in that darkest area. I feel like these two concealers are the ones that I always reach for full glam. They are both from HMB. I just use 2 different shades because I love SF0 for right in that inner corner. It makes it look so bright. I could really do with getting a new one of these, to be honest, because these are getting on, and this one is in the shade SF2N and it's basically almost empty. But I kind of pop that like right in the middle. Sorry, didn't mean to swear at you there. And then I take the one which is literally white and that goes right on that inner corner. I'm going to use the little puff again and just tap it out. I'm going to start with the darker shade. I find this just helps them not to like mix together too much, if that makes sense. I kind of want to make sure I keep the lighter colour on the inner corner and then this one on the outer corner. I'm really liking this puff, by the way. Almost bringing this up to like my temple area. I feel like this is going to make me look really snatched this way. Now time for the lighter colour, just keeping that on the inner corner and also almost making like a little bit of a line next to my nose contour as well. I feel like that just really makes it like pop. I know it looks a little bit insane right now because there's like a crazy line from my concealer to the bronzer, but this is where the blusher comes in. We're going to blend it all together. This one was a standout one from 2025, the Rare Beauty one in the shade Happy. This is the matte bouncy blush. I'm not going to lie, it looks like I haven't even touched it, so I know that it is kind of spenny, but you hardly need any of it. But I'm basically going to use the smaller version of the brush that I use for my bronzer. So this is the HF Cosmetics HF17. So it's similar shape, just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to focus that right in between the bronzer and the concealer. This is quite pigmented, so be careful. I'm kind of starting it like a little bit higher up. Again, I feel like this is going to give me more of a lifted look and I want to look snatched today. See how that's already starting to blend the bronzer and the concealer together. And then obviously same on this side as well. And finally, any excess over the nose. I feel like I look slightly insane right now, but we have to trust the process. My favourite powder ever, the Huda Beauty. This one is in the shade Peach Pie. I do feel like the peach kind of helps to almost like counteract the dark circles. And then I'm going to use the other side of the puff. That is so clever. Although I kind of need to use the other side still just to tap out any creases first before I set them into place. Then obviously just picking up some powder. I kind of just tap it into my hand as well just to make sure it's like evenly spread on the puff. Or it just immediately makes your skin look so blurred, literally like a filter. Look at the difference. I'm gonna give myself a spritz because I feel like I'm feeling a little bit heavy right now. I know I already look quite bronzed, but we have to add some more. I just can't not. This is my go-to bronzer. I've honestly used this every single time I've done my makeup since I got it, and that must have been like over a year ago now, and it's still going strong, to be honest. It's from Made by Mitchell. It's in the shade Cinnamon Girl, and this is basically like a luminous glowy bronzer. She is well loved. This just gives such a nice finish to the skin. It adds a tiny bit of bronziness, but with this shade, I use it more just because it adds a little bit of glow back to the skin, and the undertone is really warm, so I feel like you just look like golden and glowy. So kind of just doing like a really small dusting over like where the sun would hit, so like forehead and kind of more on the tops of my cheekbones, to be honest. Like I said, this just adds a really nice golden glow. I want a glowy blush as always, but I have a very specific one in mind. I actually want to use like a different one to normal, and this one from Flower Nose, is that what it's called? Yeah, Flower Nose. This is the Strawberry Cupid collection. I explained it as ethereal because it's got a glow but also a little bit of a shimmer to it, which I would never normally go to, but I feel like where it's such a fine shimmer, you literally just like give fairy vibes. Because I'm not being shy with the makeup today, like we are caking it on, I feel like I can get away with a little bit of shimmer because it's not like I'm trying to look natural. Such a gorgeous shade. Oh, the brush that I'm using is from Kaleidos, by the way. It is the B1 brush. I find when you use a glowy blush, you don't really need to use a highlighter. It's kind of like a two-in-one step. For brows, I want to do something quite bold. So I'm going to start with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Who remembers this? I feel like this is such a throwback. I don't see anyone using this anymore, but anyway, first I'm going to brush out my eyebrows. I have brow lamb at the minute, so they're kind of like fluffier vibes, but for today I feel like I want them to be a little bit straighter if I can get it like that. But to be honest, my brows are like really overdue a wax, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do. Honestly, I probably should have done this first, but I just didn't really think about it. Now for one of my favourite steps, so random, this is one of my favourite steps, but I feel like it makes such a big difference. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. I just honestly feel like this completely changes your eyebrows. So just doing a few hair strokes at the front. I don't know if you can even tell on camera, but I feel like it makes the biggest difference. Now for brow gel, I'm so almost out of this one. This brand is called Sweet One, which I never see anyone talk about. It's like a smaller company, but this brow gel is insane. It's clear and it's kind of like a flexible hold brow gel, so it doesn't dry like crusty or anything, but it still has insane hold. I honestly don't know how it works. This palette is really calling my name. I haven't really used it before. I think I've used literally like one shade in it, but it is stunning, and this shade here is really calling out to me. The shade is Scorpion and it's kind of like a reddy brown. Okay, step one, let's take, what is that even called? Fennec? I don't know what that is. But anyway, this one, I'm going to take that as like a transition-y sort of shade. Focusing that more on the outer corner though, because I really do want to do like the lifted sort of eyes. And this shimmer hazy is stunning. So I feel like I'm just going to put that all over my eyelid, to be honest. Look at that. I haven't used like a foily eyeshadow in ages. Oh my god. I feel like we should brighten the inner corner as well, so I'm going to take Salt Flat. I feel like the shade names are a little bit funny. That's just going to go right on this inner corner. Gorgeous shade as well. I think it's time for some liner, so I'm thinking this one, which is in the shade Starry Bordeaux from L'Oreal. It's kind of like that colour I was showing earlier. It's like a browny burgundy. But first up, I'm going to put this on my waterline, which is a little bit tricky because it's quite a chunky pencil. So creamy though. I think I drew that on my actual eyeball because I now can't see. Now taking an angled brush and picking some up this way. And then this is how I'm going to draw a wing. This is just basically so that the other eyeshadow shade has something to stick to. But don't be shy with this. We want to be unrecognisable, so go as heavy as you want. The hardest part is always matching the other side. I do know I'm looking a little bit crazy right now, but I'm going to take the shade Scorched, which is at the bottom, and I'm going to take a little, what would you call this? Smudgy brush. This is Peaches and Cream PC14, and I am just going to ever so slightly blend out the lower lash line. Just so I feel like it's looking a little bit harsh right now. My eyes are really feeling sensitive today, so I don't know why I've decided to do this. Okay, now back to the top. I'm going to use that Scorpion shade, which is the burgundy brownie one, and just go over that liner that we put down. I'm going to bring that all the way in to the inner corner as well. Then for some extra drama, we're going to take a really tiny little brush and just ever so slightly extend this inner corner, like a really small amount, but I feel like this just finishes it off. Okay, I feel like this is majority of the eye look done. Just need some mascara and lashes. This is the, is this another Maybelline product? Maybelline Colossal Bubble, I think that's what it's called. I'm going to do something unheard of for me recently, which is strip lashes. I normally use my Visi lashes, but I feel like today I'm not trying to look natural like I've said, so I'm going to go in with a strip lash. These ones are Angel Energy, I think, from Tatty Lashes, and I feel like they'll be literally perfect for this. I feel like this is giving 2016 glam. Wow, I have literally not seen myself with this much makeup on in the longest time. I feel like I might actually need to add a little bit more blusher or something on. Let me do my lips first, but I feel like something's missing. Maybe it is just the lips. I don't know what to use. Maybe Rimmel Cappuccino. I feel like that's a classic. Although it is blunt. Let's just see. It's so creamy that it's actually not the end of the world, that it's quite blunt. I normally love this, but I feel like it potentially looks a little bit dark where I've not got much tan on. I don't know. I feel like that's not right, but Let me maybe put like a lighter colour in the middle. So random, but I've been using this lipstick from Misguided as my like middle colour in my lips normally. The shade is Drunk Text, and I like it because it's quite pinky. I feel like to lighten it up even more though, I might just do a little bit of concealer. Yeah, I'm gonna do concealer. SF0 again, so like the really light one. Just kind of like smush it together. This next step is probably going to seem absolutely insane, but trust me, I actually do this all the time. So if I want an ombre lip, obviously when you put gloss on, it kind of all mixes together. So I actually set my lips when I want an ombre effect. So literally just taking my loose powder on a powder puff. I do know this seems insane. Once it's all set, just give it a dust off, obviously really lightly. And then you can go in with gloss without the worry that it's all going to mix together. Oh, this gloss is from Rare Beauty, by the way. The shade is Beam. But see what I mean? It then stays in place, so not moving it all around. I actually feel like now that the lip is on, I don't really need any more blusher. I think it's just my hair that's throwing me off where like I've not done it properly. It just feels a little bit flat. I feel like the hair doesn't really go with the full glam, but I'm not going to use heat on it just for the sake of a video because, like I said, I'm really trying to look after it. So this is my unrecognisable glam ready for 2026. When I want to be a full glam, this is the kind of routine that I will do. A lot of these products were my favourites from 2025, like I said, so all of these products are like trusty favourites. But I definitely feel like I succeeded with my mission. I feel like I look completely different. Thank you for watching, and I hope you are all having a great 2026 so far.